Hello, my name is Samantha Back. I'm going to be talking about the finance issues that Ford has encountered in regards to stock price and cash flow. Brittany discussed a little bit more in depth about their accounting issues, including their financial statements. But I want to look more at a finance side as opposed to accounting. You can see in the chart here that Ford stock price has a lot of ups and downs over the past 15 years. This is dating back to 2000 all the way to December of 2015. A little bit of a history on their stock. You can see their stock was $16.87 in December of 2000. This happened before the Firestone recall. Once the Firestone recall came out into the public, and was talked about a lot. Investors were not happy with this. A lot of the stocks were sold, and it bottomed out at about $7.44. The price per stock. So that was a big difference. A little over $9 a share difference from before the Firestone recall till after the Firestone recall. From there, it had its ups and downs over the years, mainly on the downward trend. At the start of the big recession in the U.S. economy in December 2008, the stock reached all the way down to $2.04 per share. So over the 8 years, from December of 2000 to December of 2008, there was a big decline of, $14 between that time period. The Firestone recall did have a big impact on their stock price. However, on top of that, they never really truly rebound from the Firestone recall too much, and then the recession hit. So their stock has taken a big hit. However, in the past 7 years, from December 2008 all the way to December 2015, it has reached back up to $13.62 per share, thanks to the U.S. starting to come out of the recession and some of the new redesigns that Ford has done. Along with that, they haven't really ran into any more issues besides, some production issues, which we don't talk about. A little bit more into Ford's finance issues is their cash flows, more specifically their free cash flows. For anybody that doesn't know a definition of free cash flow, is the cash that a company is able to generate after laying out the money required to maintain or expand its asset base. This was referenced in our paper as well. But you usually want to invest, and investors like to look at companies that have a lot of free cash flow. Free cash flow, as you might assume, is a very positive note for a company, as opposed to your cash flow being used up in capital. Unfortunately, the auto industry does require great amounts of capital upfront, which depletes the free cash flows. For GM, anybody like this has to go through this in that industry. And like I touched on, investors want to invest in companies that have great amounts of free cash flows. That is a big issue for Ford, being in the industry and having some of these issues, including the Firestone recall, that came to bring in investors and make investors feel confident in the Ford stock. And then luckily, since the recession and Ford did fall on hard times, luckily they were one of the automakers that in the U.S. that did not have to declare bankruptcy. But from 2012, they did start up their dividend again to their investors, starting at 5 cents per share per quarter, and gradually increased from in the past 3 years all the way up to 15 cents per share in the third quarter of 2015. So this is a good note for investors. It shows that Ford is back on its feet, is making enough money to be able to distribute a dividend, as opposed to putting that back into their retained earnings. And so that should be it for the finance issues. I believe that Beatrice is up with the marketing issues of Ford, and I thank you for your interest. Have a great day.